pens, and more pens. And that's exactly what our theme is for today. So if you would like to see how I interpret this theme for the YouTube collab loop group video, stay tuned. What's up everyone? This is Priya here. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning. And if this is the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Here I share tips, ideas and inspiration to make your planner and journal spreads pretty and functional. As you can see, I have a full collection, all my pens taken out, some from Archer and Olive, some from, these were some of the newer ones I got, some calligraphs, some duographs, some Zig clean color dots, some eyeliners, and on this side I have some Tombow and some Pentel sign brush pens. So I have a lot to go through, so I'm just still debating what to use. And this is another YouTube collab loop group video. I'll talk a bit more about it, but let's get started first. I'm sure we'll have lots of time in between to chat a bit. And this is my Squire Creative Journal, the 8x8 from Archer and Olive. My code Priya10 earns you 10% off at Archer and Olive, Live, Love, Posh, Plan Anything, and a few other shops. I'll have all that information down in the description. So this was the last spread we did, and the theme was create. And as you can see, I did create something fun here. So I have the full setup, the full playlist of all the YouTube collab loop group videos I did. And these stickers were from Live, Love, Posh and the washi tape shop, and the washi tapes from Plan Anything and a few other shops. All the details will be in the description. And here we have the next set of pages, and I did go ahead and use that washi tape sticker roll to kind of get some scalloped edges going at the top. So if you like to watch such fun setups in your creative space, either your planners or your journals, you might want to take a moment to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification so that you wouldn't miss any of the fun videos coming. So first I'm going with some Zig clean color dots. I had done an earlier video where I shared a few ideas you could use these amazing pens in your stationery or your journals or planners. So this is, I picked a few random colors, a few colors that I think would go well together. So before we get started, I think I will just go ahead and cut a small Dutch door. First, as you can see, I did pencil the scalloped edges on the same page, but then I thought having a small Dutch door effect would look better. You know me, you know how I had to bring some Dutch doors in. And there we go. So the top part of the Dutch door is being cut out, and I'm making sure I'm keeping the ribbons out of there. I have done that too. If you have been watching me for a while, you may have watched me snip through one of those ribbons, these bookmark ribbons that Archer and Olive has. And I was like, there seems to be a bit more of a thickness to the page all of a sudden, and I didn't realize I was just cutting through the ribbon. And there goes the bottom, just a smaller edge at the bottom, and I will have my kneaded eraser, which is something I really love because there are no remains or the eraser bits that come out with the kneaded eraser. And I will also try and bring in the duographs. You will see what I'm doing. So I'm just pulling it closer so that I can work better. And these are the Zig clean color dots again. And you might want to actually hold it upright for the desired pressure, because depending on what pressure you apply, you have the size of the dots. So that is our next color I'm going with. Again, I'm just speeding it up quite a bit because otherwise you would be sitting here all day. I know you guys prefer the longer videos too. once in a while, but I think this one I will just talk quickly and briefly through what the process is. So that is our scalloped edges almost done. So I went with a shorter kind of scallops because there was no space for the full half circle there. So I'm going with the finer tip of the duograph, which I am absolutely in love with this because this was the first time I actually got to use these duographs. I had picked it up, but then I had not gotten to actually use it or play around with it. So I just went with the darker shade. And as you can see, there is the labeling which can be very easily done. And now let's get to the bottom part. And I'm going to do those brush strokes kind of effect, which will flow a bit to the Dutch door in the front. So when you turn the page, you will see how I'm going to do the other side. Again, this is quite a bit sped up, not fed up, sorry. I thought these brush strokes were kind of like a fun effect. I'm just going with that same order, keeping it at the symmetry. And I'm just leaving the tips at various heights so that it will have some interest, because I don't want it to be uniformly at the same level, because I'm just looking for a fun brushstroke kind of effect. Let's round the corners before we get to the edge. And as I move closer to the edge, I will also have to put something that doesn't roll over to keep my hand from, or the arm from, being unstable. So that's what you see here. And now that we have a process going on, the empty box was just not helping. So these were better for sure. And now let's turn the page and work on the other side. So that way it will look nice and pretty on both the sides. So now let's get to the YouTube collab loop, the whole concept. So Lisa Marie, her handle is Creatively Lisa Marie on all the social media platforms. She's a lady behind all of that. And she has a loop group dropping every week. And if you want to join, just reach out to her. She's linked below. So she gives us all a theme, and it's a whole bunch of growing YouTubers. And we all come together and we interpret the theme in a very different way. And it's really interesting to see how certain people interpret certain themes. And if you are joining me through the loop group from somebody else's channel, I really welcome you wholeheartedly. And the concept is very simple. You start with mine or whoever else's, and you just go ahead and watch my video, and you follow the next person by watching their video, which is in the description. And once you get back to my video or whoever else you started with, you will have completed the loop. So we all appreciate that. And please give us all a follow, subscribe to our channels. Please drop us all a word of encouragement. We would really, really appreciate all the love and support. And getting back to the video, I'm just going to embellish the sides of the Dutch doors now. So these are the lace washi tapes from the washi tape shop. And when I last checked, these were still available. And my code Priya10 can be used at the washi tape shop also. And that paper trimmer, the small tabletop paper trimmer, is from Journal C, just like the small scissors I used. And oopsie, that's a wonky cut. So the only problem is just make sure you lay down the washi tape straight if you need to cut it right at the middle. But with such shapes, laying it down flat and straight is a problem. So I ended up putting aside the first batch that got messed up. So I'm going with a very similar design in the front and the back. So this is the same pattern that's being continued all the way to the end of the page. And on this side, we'll have the same design, which is on the other half of the washi tape. So this was something I thought. The black, when you bring in the black, a small tip, when you bring in the black, all the colors, including the other colors you have going on the page, just pops. Have you noticed that? And I just try throwing in a bit of the black here and there when you are dealing with a lot of colors like these. And I just picked a few colors that I thought would go well together right next to each other, especially at the top. And let me know if you have any of these pens that you see here and what your favorite pens are. Let's talk a bit about it, right? So I have a lot of pens that I love to use, and Creative Journal is kind of where I really love to come and practice my lettering. All of those happen here. So this is a Tombow brush pen, and I will try to slow this part down so that you can see how slow the whole process in fact is. And this is real time. So you see how you need to take it slow, and then I'm zooming in a bit as well so that you can see the whole stroke thing better. I think my lettering has improved because I do practice. I don't say every day, but regularly I do take the time to practice. So I think that really helps. So back to our sped up version, and I'm using the fine tip of that duograph to draw some vines and some lines into all those alphabets. So I really love how you can do that, because with the other finer tip, I think this is much finer. So I'm really loving the whole. This is kind of like the Muji pens, and it is really fine. So I really love that about the finer tip. So these pens, I believe, are still in stock, the duographs. This was a jewel tone collection from the spring release. So now I'm trying to see if I should cut there so that we can, in fact, have the pens visible from both the pages. So just trying to line up that side. And yeah, that's not bad. So just rounding the corners again, because I prefer that to the straight edge. So that's our base all done. So now it's time to share a bit about what I love about pens. So I'm digging through my stash, and I got this notepad. This was part of an earlier subscription box which I had picked up on clearance. And the Arch and Olive summer clearance should be coming soon, and insider information, so stay tuned for that. I can't really share much information beyond that, but there should be some goodies coming. Usually they do have a summer sale. So this was a past subscription box, and I'm just counting the number of dots. That's the beauty of these dotted pages, right? It's easier to cut, especially when you have certain size, or just dividing the whole notepad into 3 sections is what I did here. So just double checking that's the case, and I don't want it to be wonky with different sizes, because I was going for a certain look. And I will again do the flap doors here. And that's one of the easiest ways you can bring in such fun interactive elements, because you can do the flap doors. And I thought I would go for 6, but then I decided I will just stick with 4. So that is where we will roughly be having some of these pens shared. So I'm just trying to see what else we can bring in, because there needs to be something on the right edge of the Dutch door so that it can look a bit more complete. So I think that girl looks ready to kind of have fun with some of the pens, and she's, I think, in fact, reading. So I think it'll be good. So a bit of a relaxing mood is what she's in, and I'm going through my pre-cut washi tapes. And this is the Sunlit Meadows, which I had really loved recently. And this is like fun, bright colors. And I did come and do an advanced Dutch door with this, and it was quite popular, and it was slightly on the longer side. I think that was my longest video till date, but I think people loved it because I was talking about intricate designs, and it does help when you can actually see the whole process without being too fast and just taking the time to relax and enjoy the process. So it's one of those videos. So I will link it below. Please check that out. And that's the next set of florals that I'm bringing in. Just throwing in a few things so that it will not look plain, because here the top and the bottom portions are really well decorated, but in between it looks too plain. And let's just have something fun and bright and colorful in between. So that's how my thought process went. Again, this theme, I have to admit, it did give me a bit of a challenge, and I wasn't sure what to do for the theme. And I just do not want to just give up, because I love a challenge, don't I? So I just decided to do something different. So that's how this whole setup evolved. And I just roughly had the idea of the zig clean color dots and the duographs, and I wasn't sure how well it would come together. And let me know what you think. How would you interpret the theme? Would you interpret it as something that you love, something, a few of your favorite pens that you would like to share? How would you interpret it if you were in my shoes? So I'm just using a few of my newer pens, and this was a failed attempt. I did come and write it, but then it was just not the same color on the yellow dotted paper. So I ended up not using this. Yeah, I did not like how that looked, because with all these brighter colors, I thought, yeah, I tried my best. I came and tried outlining it. I didn't like how that looked. So I went with a different color. This is more like a maroon color. But I think the whole look of it, as I was expecting it to come through, it did not do justice to what I had wanted. So I did not. I did go through it. I tried. So this is how sometimes things are, right? I could have edited this part again, but I thought mistakes do happen to all of us. So, and we do have to try. Unless you try, you never know if you would like it or not. So that is the whole creative process, right? You need to try it. So that's where this whole flopped attempt was. So yeah, I did not like it. So I'm just going to turn the piece over, and I'm going to go with something really bold. So I'm going with the sign brush pins, or should I go for, that's what happens when you are spoiled for choices, you know. So that's the next set of calligraphs, and this one has a really darker shade. So this is more like a really fun bright blue. I'm sure it comes through as a black, but it is in fact a really dark blue. This was part of the summer one. So that is, I think that looks way better. So let's put down some washi tapes now. The washi tapes are from Planny Thing. And that's the first piece done. So I will come and write a few things that I love about the calligraphs. And please let me know if you have any of the calligraphs or acrylographs or duographs, anything from the Arch and Olive, because Arch and Olive pens, I mean, are amazing quality. So I really love that I had picked up 2 or 3 last time in the spring sale. Not the spring sale, it was a spring release. So on to the next paper, which would be the sign brush pens from Pentel. So all these pens are linked below, and I think the Pentel brush pens are again sometimes my real favorites, because when you want it a bit thinner, a bit petite, I think the sign brush pens are my go-to things, because the calligraphs, they're really thick, and the Tombow ones are even bigger, wider. When you will see how I write with them. So next we have the zebra mile liners. Again, there are the chisel tip ones like these ones, and we have the brush pen types, which I also have, but I just went with the chisel tip here just for a fun different look, because I was going through all the other brush pens, and I'm using my 0.7 mm Rytec pens. So this is going to be the next flap, and the last one will be, of course, my Tombows. So when I turn the page of the Dutch door, I will be writing about my favorite, some of the other favorite pens like the Rytec pens. I've been loving the 0.7 mm lately. And you see what I mean? The Tombows are really, really, especially when you do the brush lettering kind of technique, it gets really thick. So for small spaces, I think I prefer the Pentel sign brush pens. And this is how it would look. And on the other side, again, I would write a bit about my favorite, some of the other pens. And this is the clean slate I get to start on. So I'm going with this jewel tone shapes from Mojo Jojo Plans, and I'm just making sure I don't have that sharp edge right near those flowers. And that's kind of where you can hide it, right? Now it looks more like it was always behind that box. And I'm not sure what is available, but the Mojo Jojo Plan sticker books also do sell out quite fast. So if you are looking for something specific, they just dropped their summer release. And they will also have the blankets, there are other accessories that come out, the sticker accessories and such. My code Priya10 works on all sticker books. And yeah, let's just use some of these florals on the edge of this page also, so that it can look a bit more better, I think. Yeah. Let me know what you think about this, whether you would use it just as a plain Dutch door, or would you add stickers like these. So I just decided to bring in some stickers just to pull it all together, but otherwise it's mostly pens, right? Yeah, let me know what you think, and please check out the other videos I mentioned, and don't forget to check out the next person's video, which is also linked below, and continue on with the loop. And we really appreciate every single one of you who stop by, watch our videos, comment, and let us know something good about what we all do. And I think this came out much prettier than what I had thought. And please come follow me on Instagram. I do share more spreads and more sneaks, even if they don't quite get YouTube videos. So you're seeing me do the other box, because I'm looking for something to balance the colors on the left as well. And I think it came out pretty well. And thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.